mean, what we just went through with Diane, you know, everything is included in what emerges. And so defenses and resistances is part of what emerge. So inquiry will need to include everything, including the reaction to what emerged. In fact, the reaction is part of what's emerged. I tend to think of the process as inquiry is matter of recognizing or finding where I am, being where I am at the moment, right? And being where I am, I see it has two components. A primary component, a secondary component. Primary component is the primary thing that is arising. The secondary component is all the reactions to it and the resistances and the judgment and the opinions and the associations to it. And they're both happening together in the field. And the inquiry is interested to find out what's really emerging. So part of the interest is, and the inquiry is to see those reactions, whether they are resistances or defenses or association, all kinds of things. In fact, the inquiry will need to recognize all of those completely and understand them to really even begin to recognize the primary emergence, the primary thing that is emerging that might be a novel thing that's happening. So inquiry for me does include inquiring, recognizing and inquiring into the defenses and resistances and things like that.
Ask a little more?
Yes.
I guess the struggle I have is like when I try to inquire on my own, there's a lot I don't see, and then it's not as focused or that kind of thing. So many of us, I feel, will tend to not flush out the unconscious material because there's so many reactions that keep it hidden.
Yeah.
And wondering the difference between psychoanalytic approaches and the diamond approach. Is there a difference there in how that's treated?
I mean, I wouldn't know. I know how I do it in my work. First of all, I'm practicing myself, and I teach other people to practice. But also, since you're familiar with this diamond heart work, or diamond approach work, there is also a teacher-student relationship. And the teacher does facilitate the experience of the student. So the teacher is helping the student inquire. And part of assisting or guiding the inquiry is to ask questions and to point to things. The teacher can actually point to what's happening, can make interpretation, can make reconstructions, the way psychoanalysts do, right? But the emphasis is more on the questions than the interpretation. See, but there is a point if I notice somebody working with, they're not paying attention to something there that is really in the experience, I might say something like, well, noticing there's something here, you don't seem to be saying something about it. I mean, the person sometimes might be aware of it or not much. They're focusing on something else. Sometimes they're completely not aware of it. Sometimes I'm working with somebody, I'm getting a headache. I tell the person, you're giving me a headache. What's happening in your head? And then the person goes, oh, well, my head does feel hard.